I'm Natlie Miller, physical
Hi,
therapist.
Natlie. You going?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, and I'm Megan Lammarino, another physical therapist here.
Very pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thanks
you.
for coming.
It was my pleasure.
And this is Bob and Victoria.
She's behind the camera.
Yeah.
Hello.
Very
Wonderful
job.
camera work, right?
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit today about what we're doing on the preclinical side and how we work with mice and cells. And so we've talked a lot about trying to translate our work to the clinic and what you all are doing to develop outcome measures for clinical trials. So
And I understand you have a hamster wheel I'm supposed to get on, right?
Not a hamster, we have a video game. If that
Oh,
sounds
right,
better.
Xbox. But
Yeah.
Victoria was asking, do you have one for a Wii? Because we're a Wii. We're dated.
No,
No, just connect.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, Xbox.
but it just uses the computer and a Kinect camera, so you don't need an Xbox for it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful.
we'll try it out.
Very, very good. Game of Thrones, I think.
yes,
is
we were just
pretty
hoping maybe you could show them
Absolutely.
some of what you're doing.
Absolutely. So, from the clinical side.
good. You go ahead.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Andrea.
Thank you.
To come on in. So what we do back here is collect a bunch of information on like functional data. So we'll have people walk for us and do different tests with their hands and their arms, different walking assessments and things like that in our video game, and we kind of collect natural history of different neuromuscular diseases. So we want to see how they progress, how they present, what muscles are weak, and that kind of gives us some information on for a clinical trial.
Right.
What are we looking to change with the treatment or with the drug, and how do we measure that within whatever time span the trial is going on.
Right.
So we kind of collect all of that
That's
information.
wonderful.
Yeah, because even with progressive neuromuscular disorders, as you know, even if we halt progression, that is a huge meaningful improvement to patients. But
Sure.
without natural history data, we don't know what's the natural progression. So what is maintenance and what is an improvement from what we would expect without a treatment. So,
Right.
yeah, we think it's fun. So
Good. How many lives do I get in this game? 3?
we have everybody play
Digits.
twice usually.
Twice,
but,
okay.
If you ask nicely, you can play more than twice. So, so yeah,
But yeah, this is kind of like a little area. This is our area. We have a room here that's carpeted.
We just finished a patient visit, so the prize boxes are still out. So don't mind a little bit of a mess.
There's a lot of
What's the prize box?
We for the children and adults, if you're interested in a prize, we after they do their
Like a
assessments-
lollipop or something?
Yeah,
I like
lollipop,
purple or red.
Legos,
If you
Hot
listen
Wheel
well, we
cars.
give you candy.
Well, he's a Corvette guy. Do you have
Yeah,
any,
we
toy
might.
Corvettes?
I don't have them organized by model, but you can like dig through the prize box.
No, we'll leave it for the children. That's totally fun.
Yeah, but this is our space. So we have a high-low mat table where we do different strength assessments using this device is to
Sure,
do
I've
handheld
done that
dynamometry.
with the
Yeah.
ACE 83
Um,
trial.
We have stairs, so
Yes,
we,
yes.
if,
We've done that.
if it's safe and able, we have patients go up and down the set of 4 stairs.
Did that with ACE 83 as well.
Yep.
That was loud. We have to videotape everything. Okay, and then we have, here's kind of a fixed system strength
Oh, interesting.
test where we have these load cells down here because it's kind of
Looks like a
more
traction.
accurate measurement. Yes, it's our torture device where we like strap people in, and then we line up whatever muscle to be tested gets tested, and then we strap this to you, and then have you push or pull as hard as you can,
Yeah.
and then that any force that you use gets put into the force cell and goes into our computer, so it gives us kind of a better objective measurement of strength. So that's this machine.
The interesting thing with these types of tests, I have a, Dr. Wagner said you have a competitive personality. So if you do one number, you try to push, at least I find myself pushing through and trying to do more. So
Yeah.
Does that make the data set not as good? Because it's personality dependent? Or?
We have people do it 3 to 5 times because there is a little bit of a learning curve. So every person does each muscle group at least 3 times, and then if you're someone who is getting better and better and better,
Yes,
we'll
that's
have
exactly
you going
right.
up to 5 because we don't want to fatigue you on one muscle, but we want to make sure we take your best effort. So
Right.
we found that is a good way to get reliable data because you're right. You see it on the screen and you're like, oh, I can do better than
That's
this
right.
thing.
Yeah.
So-
Then there's us yelling at you like, go, 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 fast,
Right,
fast,
exactly,
fast. We're like, harder, harder.
exactly.
Yeah. So there's that component.
Oh, I understand that all too well.
And then Here's our video game, which we'll come back to and have you play.
And that looks like Windows 10? So
I think so.
it's
Yeah.
not Apple Macintosh
Something.
compatible,
Little
right?
bit- Well, it might be. We have to ask our video game.
So we are actually attached to, our space is attached to our clinic space. So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we have Neuromuscular and Muscular Dystrophy Association clinics that are take place in like the rest of this. But so we're attached luckily, so we don't have to go far. But here's our track where we do our 100-meter test, which is like, it's different. It uses the same track as like the 6-minute walk test. I'm not sure if you've had to do that before.
Multiple times.
So we've found that 6-minute walk test is very motivation dependent in young kids. It's very, it can be difficult for them to understand the concept of time versus distance. So we've established and collected a lot of data on the 100-meter test, which is a max effort test. So not walk as fast as you can, but if you can run. And it's only 2 laps. So we go as fast as you can for 2 laps in a row. And then we've collected like over 600
Right.
normative data for like young kids, and we're establishing normative values for adults. So we are looking at kind of like that, using that as a comparison and having that instead of kind of as an easier, quicker test.
Right, the one thing I'll
6-minute
share with you, I
test.
think one of the concerns for me doing, the faster that I try to move, the higher the risk for me to fall, I think.
Yeah.
So that is always something, the balance of fear of falling with productivity and strides. Just-
We always encourage safety.
Yeah, and that was one of the things when we first started doing this, especially, we ask people to go as fast as they can safely, so it is, you decide what's safe for you. But one of the things that we get asked a lot is like, do we have more falls than in something like the 6-minute walk test where it's just a walk? And from the data that we collected in children, we've had less falls than the 6-minute walk, and so we think that it's because with the kids, sometimes the 6-minute walk test, and when they're kind of, minute 4 or 5, they're kind of bored and not paying attention, versus with 2 laps, they were focused to the task. And so we haven't really run into safety-related concerns with the 100-meter, because, it is up to you, your body, if you know how fast you can go and how safe. So it's something we get asked a lot, but so far it hasn't been.
And when you do these
Much of an issue.
longitudinal studies, really,
Yeah.
you're not, even though you're getting a cross-section of performance, at the end of the day, you're comparing yourself to yourself over a period of time.
Yes, exactly.
Which is important. So where anybody is in that, it'll manifest itself every
Yeah.
time, one way or another.
Yeah.
So that's an important distinction. Okay, so can we play a game?
Absolutely. The fun stuff. When you play, you have a seat in the chair,
I'm gonna
and I'll get started.
Yes, so the idea of what we're measuring is workspace volume. So it's the volume of space around you while you're seated that you're able to access using your arms reaching and using your
Oh,
trunk.
shoot, that's okay.
So it's a
No, you're
virtual
fine.
thing. I grab.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the reason we think it's really functional, and we wanted an outcome measure that could span across a large range of abilities. So the walking tests, if someone loses ambulation, then we lose data on that, and then clinical trials can only enroll people that are able to walk. So this was created by our coworkers Linda Lowe's and Lindsay Alfano.
So this is an internally brewed.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
So they've been developing it probably 6 or 7 years now, making improvements, and it's in several clinical trials across the neuromuscular disease space at the moment. But so we can measure someone who's able to run a marathon all the way to someone who has just minimal use of their fingertips, because if you're in a wheelchair, you can stay in a wheelchair. You don't have to transfer into a standard chair. And like Megan said, we're quantifying workspace volume in cubic meters, and then we scale it based on your height, so you don't get extra points if you're tall or if you're a kid, if you're growing. So we turn the raw volume into a scaled score that we
And
can
I
track
think
over
with
time.
the usable workspace I did, they measure
Yeah.
your arm length, so you
Yes.
know how far you're reaching as a result of the natural of your length or whether you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can get it pulled up here. So we have verbal consent. So if you want to play and agree to letting us keep your data, that would be awesome. If you'd rather we didn't keep your data, we just won't save it at the end. So
keep
okay.
it.
You should put it out on the cloud, right? This is the high score. and-
Yes, exactly.
Indeed.
Play with
No,
them.
no worries.
The only one to
Back
beat the
nature
game.
again. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna measure the length of your ulna, so I'm gonna have you bend your arm just like this and then hold.
Mhm.
I'm gonna measure it 3 times.
You want to see this here, the measuring model?
All right, 28.4.
Okay. And then, do you mind, can we ask you when your birthday is?
4964.
Okay. We have to put it in backwards.
Yep.
4,
1864.
yeah, pause for a second. Okay, so another thing that we do is the Brooks scale, which is a quick assessment of upper extremity function. So we ask people, arms by your side, can you show me how high can you lift your hands? Can you get them
To the side or straight up?
Yeah, can you get them over your head at the same time though?
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Good.
Right,
Perfect.
but I can do this and I can use momentum. Does
Yeah.
that make a
Yeah.
difference?
You can show us your best effort. Nice.
Good job.
Perfect.
Okay.
And so then what about if we give you this cup, it has a little weight in it. I want to see if you can bring it up to max. Good. Perfect. All right. Then you said jewels or spiders?
Jewels, I don't like
Okay.
killing things.
All right, so when this works, we'll have you watch the tutorial, and so everybody's fine. I might have you scoot just a little bit over so
Yeah.
the
Yep.
camera doesn't get you.
Yeah, I don't want in the camera.
Okay, so let's see. I'll get it started, and we have a tutorial, so the robot guy will tell you the instructions.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm glad you're here. I need help collecting all the gems in this cave. I copy your arm movements.
Hmm.
Wave your arms around and watch how mine move just like yours. Gems are hiding in the cave walls. We need to reach in there and collect them. The more you move, the more spiders will squish. First, reach both arms high toward the ceiling.
Yeah. And so this is all a practice. So if you just
Next,
watch for this
get
part,
all
that's
the
totally
gems on the left
fine.
side. Lean
He's
to the left
explaining.
side and reach for them. Stretch up high and low. Now lean to the right side. Reach high and low. Bend forward. When we start to play, we'll reach the way the arrows are pointing. Sit up tall and hold still so I can get the game started.
Now, when I grab them, do I bring them back to me?
You don't have to. Like
Just-
the laser lightsaber things on your arms will kind of get them. Hold on just a second. It's
Oh,
getting
okay.
ready.
No, Robert, you want
So
me to
you just
record?
have to touch
Yeah,
them.
why not?
You or the machine? Or the
You can go back and forth between so you can see my motion versus that, so you can show both.
All right.
Okay, start.
Reach up high.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. Yeah.
You gotta lower that just.
Stretch as far as you can.
Nice job.
Oh, I can just sweep
yeah,
it too.
Yeah,
Now
just
lean
sweep
to
it.
the left side.
Okay, just your left arm now. And lean over as far as you can. Good.
Lean more to the left. Now lean to the right side.
Good. Try not to hold on to the chair. Nice job.
See, I think I'm more functional than the way.
Let's grab all the gems in front of us. Bend forward.
Both hands?
Yep, both hands are allowed in this one. Good. And try and push the wall forward.
Lean forward more.
Nice. Good. 550 joules. Nice job. So we usually have everybody play a second time. You can
Yep.
take a break in between. You up for a second
Yeah,
try?
yeah,
See if
let's
you can
go
beat
for it.
Okay, so 550 is your record to beat at the moment. It is very tiring. It's more tiring
Yeah,
than you
no.
think it's going to be. Okay, so you tell me. You ready for me to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Reach up high. Stretch as far as you can. Now lean to the left side. Lean more to the left. Now lean to the right side. Lean more to the right. Let's grab all the gems in front of us. Bend forward.
Cleared it.
If you, there's more coming. Yeah.
Lean forward more.
Nice. 471. So,
More.
you were not lying. You are a competitive person. So.
Yeah, but I don't beat my
Tell
own
me.
numbers. Not too
And
much.
so what we look at here is, so this is the raw volume, total volume in cubic meters. So one try you got 1.289 cubic meters, and one you got 1.50. So we take your best try.
Well, before we do this, I
Yes.
have done the spiders. Is that going to throw your data? If
No,
I do
it's
it
okay.
again?
No.
So this will be new for you doing the gems
I
then.
have never done the gems.
Can I have you roll up?
I hope I got it all, Robert. You're gonna have to
Did
look.
it stop?
Yeah, but I'll look at it. Hate this cameras.
I thought, how could
I
you
know,
stop? This
but-
is not mine.
Well, I think it's fine. We'll look at it.
Pretty bad. 0.0.
You were,
Exhausting.
you were definitely on a mission there.
What is it?
I could see the competitive juices flowing there.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried this, by the way?
Yeah, I did the spiders, I think.
Yeah, that's what they had set up at the FSH walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a pacifist. when it
Okay,
comes
so
to animals.
spiders or jewels for you today.
I'll do jewels.
Okay.
That's okay. Just don't want in their picture.
Okay.
Alright.
No, you don't want to be in the picture's feed.
Oh no, but you can get both, right?
Not really, it's not easy.
So go ahead and wiggle your arms down just a little bit. They might make you. Let's scoot up.
And you-
I wonder
when
if
she's
the white
doing-
sweater against the white wall. Okay.
And back and forth.
No, you're good. It's working. And then skip the tutorial since you just watched.
I'm
another
glad
one.
you were here.
All right. Ready and go.
Reach up high. Don't stand up. Stretch as far as you can. Now, knee to the left side. Stretch up really high and low.
Nice. That was a good one.
Lean more to the left.
I think she's going to kick my butt.
I don't know. I'm telling you, 550 is a good score.
That's what you had the first time?
Yeah, 550 was good.
Hold on to the chair. Lean more to the right. Bend forward and reach towards me. Don't stand up.
I think you have a job at the airport.
Lean forward more.
It's gonna be close.
Oh, she's got me beat.
550.
High five on that.
Nice job.
Okay, this is the second attempt now.
Don't stand up. Stretch as far as you can. Now, lean to the left side. Stretch up really high and low. Lean more to the left.
Can't get those guys.
Yeah, is it the different configuration the second time?
Now,
No, same
lean to
room?
the right side.
I'm looking good here. I'm looking good
Hold
here.
on to the chair. Lean more to the right.
Good job.
Over
Bend
400.
forward and reach towards me.
Come on, I got to hold her for 160. No, 479. She's got only 50. She's going to beat me.
Lean forward more.
479.
Did I have 479? We tied. You still beat me. You beat me by 7.
Nice
So
competition.
Very nice.
So then again.
Good job.
See, I went down on 2
Yeah.
too.
All right.
Great.
And then I can show you what it gives us, a report
Awesome.
generates. So we could use it for either clinical use or in a trial. So let's see. So it gives us the date, and so each row is one of your tries. So it gives us the raw volume, the scaled score, and then how far the person leans to the left, center, and right. And then it also gives us these pictures. So if someone had asymmetrical, like one side was stronger than the other,
Yeah.
we could kind of track that over time too and see.
And can you see that on me by chance?
Yeah,
Because
let's
I'll tell you
see.
which one that I am once what you think I am.
Well, let's see if you leaned your trunk leaned pretty similarly both to the left and the right. Let's see here.
Left was a little less than the right.
Interesting.
Think your right's stronger?
Actually, the odd thing is, I think my right is actually weaker in my humeral area, but stronger on my leg.
Legs, yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
So, unless
Do you
I'm
right-
compensating,
Do you write with your left hand or your right hand?
right in.
And when you go,
No, go ahead, sorry.
Here's a question. Could this ever be adopted for the lower extremities, for the legs, to do the same kind of...
We haven't looked into it yet, but I'm sure that it could with a similar sort of idea.
yeah. And then we typically have everybody who plays fill out. Are you familiar with the promise forms? They're a like patient-reported outcome measure, so it asks you how much difficulty you have doing certain tasks with your hands and your arms. Then there's like a general mobility one as well, as part of the NIH toolbox. But we kind of have people fill those out also, and then kind of relate what our scores are for how much workspace volume it takes to do certain tasks. So kind of taking that and relating it based on how you feel you do certain things.
And functionally, because we think it takes, it makes sense, it takes more workspace volume to dry your back with a towel or put a shirt
Sure.
on over your head than like feeding yourself, but we think that there's probably, our early research that there are certain cutoffs, like if you get a scaled score below this of a certain amount, we think you may be at risk for losing the ability to independently dress yourself or something like that, and so then we can kind of help plan as far as assistive devices and things to help the person. When Linda Lowe's and Lindsay Alfano were developing the video game, first they asked, again, it was developed originally for boys with Duchenne, and so they were asking the boys like what would be fun, and they all said Call of Duty, and the hospital was like, absolutely not, like you cannot have something that violent, so they agreed on squishing spiders or collecting jewels, that was okay. But the game has you collect jewels or collect spiders, and that's the motivating part. But what we track is the raw volume and the scaled score, and so the quick arm function screen that we do in the beginning, that helps us place, so the spiders or the jewels, no matter what your arm function is, you're still able to get some, so that if, a kid that had a neuromuscular disorder played and then their sibling that was not affected played, we've scale the spiders or the jewels so that you get a similar amount, so that it's fun and competitive for you, whatever your functional abilities are. But then we track the scaled score.
Right.
Thanks.
Do you have any other questions?
Any other things physical measurements you'd like, or anything else, or is that pretty much
Or would you like
everything
him,
else I've seen?
would you like him to fill out that form?
Oh yeah, if you want.
Promise
If
space?
you,
Yeah.
yeah. If you'd like to, we'd appreciate it.
Sure, it's our pleasure.